Hey everybody, it's Mark Yagi. Welcome to another weekly stock market update. I'm glad you're here. I'm actually on a cruise ship. This is a fake background, so apologize for that. Otherwise, you'd be seeing. Well, I could show you what you'd be seeing. It's just my room, but there's going to be some noise because the cruise director. I'm on this cruise, and we're in Antarctica right now, and he's talking about whales that are outside. So I'm going to have to get off this call because apparently some whales are out here. But I'm going to throw my fake background again on whatever. It doesn't really matter. There's a cool backgrounds, right? Hey, listen. Anyway, you didn't come here to talk about the whales as the backgrounds. I want to go through a few slides just to let you know what's going on in the market right now. This is crazy. This reminds me of .com back in the 90s, where you're seeing lots of everything melting up and crazy stuff this week. We had Nvidia and SMCI just going crazy this week, up a couple hundred points, down a couple hundred points in Nvidia's case. The market is green, 4 green lights right now. That means push the pedal to the metal. If you're following our genius system, selling covered calls, whatever you're doing. The composite index for the NASDAQ is up. You're seeing it hit an all-time high this morning after a gap up 2 days ago on NVIDIA's numbers. And you're seeing the S&P 500, same thing, all-time high. Dow Jones, all-time high. New York Stock Exchange, all-time high. So everything's hitting highs right now. And the market the treasuries to finance all this money that the government is spending and the interest rates that's refinanced. So the Fed's like, well, we're not able to, do QE and print money again, but there's money being printed. And so there's a saying, don't fight the Fed. In this case, it's don't fight the government because the government is printing fake money. That's why your inflation is going up. And that's why your cars are going up in price and they're getting more expensive and your houses are not dropping like they should be with these higher rates. They're just hanging up there basically in a lot of markets and still going up in some markets because things are inflationary because the more money free money you put in that doesn't have work behind it, the more people are willing to pay for stuff because they got extra money sloshing around because the government's printing it. But at some point, that all comes to an end. You can't have something for nothing. New York Stock Exchange at all-time high. All right, the volatility index, which is kind of the panic index, is gap down back below the 200-day moving average. There's nothing on this chart that's showing any alarm that you should get out of the market or get into the market or anything. Things are just kind of melting up. I keep saying that. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks, and I felt that this market is melting up just based on my experience, and that's certainly what's happening. Interesting. I just want to show you the top groups. 4 out of the top 10 groups all start with the word computer. The top industries. So when the industry group is performing well, so do the stocks in that industry groups because about 32% of a stock's performance comes from the performance of its industry group. So sorry about the noise again. The cruise director talking about something they're seeing. But anyway, you can see if you look at this chart from lower left to upper right, you're seeing a really interesting pattern that is prevalent over and over. In fact, if you look at the SMCI chart from this week, super microcomputer, it looks just like this chart. And that's the kind of chart you want to be in, chart that you can make a lot of money in. We finally got that market. I hope you're not sitting on the sidelines waiting for the market to crash and having all this money being made right in front of you because we know that it's going to turn around at some point. We just don't know when. And these melt ups can take a really long time, just like the meltdowns take a long time. We sat through the whole year in 2022. The apparel shoe market, look at that. Probably being driven by Crocs, but look at that. That's the kind of chart you want to be in. Here's the worst performing group in the market. The industry is the oil and gas royalty trust. Look at that. Like you can tell. Just you don't need any training to know that's not something you want to be in. And if you're in oil and gas, you don't want to be in that. You're not making any money. It's got a relative strength rating of 1, meaning 99% of all the other companies are doing better in terms of stock performance in the S&P 500. You don't want to be in that. Couple stocks, and I'll let you go and have a weekend. Apple is testing its 200-day moving average. Doesn't seem to be able to get away from this 200-day moving average. Apple may be in a little bit of trouble here, guys. Sorry, but it wants to go to that that $200 level. That 199.62 was its high. It wants to go back there. It just doesn't know why it wants there and when it wants to go back there. But Apple is going to continue to sell higher priced products because of inflation. But I don't think people are loving their Apple Pro Vision goggles because I think they're a little bit heavy and maybe expensive. And that might be reflected in the price. But I don't think there's anything wrong with Apple. I just don't think it's going higher anytime soon. It's going to hover around this 200-day moving average until it can get the gumption to move off it. Tesla, same kind of thing. It gapped down. It's got a gap there. It's got a $200 price level that it wants to break through and go to like 212 or something like that to fill that gap. Then there's another couple gaps on the chart that it's got to go through. It's got to go through the 50. It's got a lot of work to do, like I've been saying, unfortunately, because it's got a ton of great products and a ton of sales. They're the number 1 and number 3 best-selling cars in the world. And the stock is basically the same price as it was 3 years ago when the company was selling 1/4 of the number of cars. So it's just amazing. Super microcomputer, one that I just mentioned a minute ago. Look at this. This is crazy, right? It broke out at 357 and it changed personality and it's been huge up. And then look at this big outside candle that wiped out so much stuff just in one day. It went from like 1,200 down to, I don't know, 800. And then it even went lower down to 700. I think I told you 650 to 750 was the area I think it was going to settle in after got rid of some of these profit takers that made money on the way up. I did 10, then it bust up, and then this is a crazy run. I'm not recommending stock, but you just see it all. So just interesting stuff. One more stock I'll talk to you about as well. In the semiconductor business, NVIDIA is the king right now. It's got more value in NVIDIA than the whole country of Canada, right, as far as market cap, which I find interesting. One little company has got more market value than the whole country of Canada. Anyway, so On Semiconductor is in the same business, but they're not running their business quite as well, and so you're starting to see that in their stock price. And so there's always two sides to every coin. For everything that's going up, there's something that's going down. In this sector, On Semiconductor is not doing that well. But I don't want to end it on that note. I want to end it on a good note. So let's finish with JP Morgan Chase, which is in the banking. And look at this chart. You could tell from 135 to 184, something like that. This stock has been just chugging up. And that's the kind of stock you want to be in, even though we were in trouble in banking last year. If you're in one of the big ones that are doing well, the market leaders, they do well. Enough for me. I'm going to go out and check out some whales in Antarctica. We got this amazing view, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm just grateful that I could have this connection from Elon Musk with the rest of the world, with you, so that I can, give you what my feelings are on the market. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. And if you haven't liked and subscribed and hit the notification bell. I do these about every Friday, every weekend for sure, once a week. I have a new newsletter that I'm now launching called Insider Tips. You should find the link to that below. You can go subscribe, get on the waiting list, all that kind of stuff. And you can get these and when I do stock updates as soon as they come out so that, if you want to take action on that, you can. Of course, you got to do your homework. This is all just fun and entertainment and information. Don't be going out there and doing what I'm saying to do or saying that I do. I'm not you and you're not me. You got to do your homework. But, this is part of maybe your homework process is to look at what people say. But just don't listen to some bald guy on the internet telling you to buy stuff and go blindly buy things. Do your homework. Make sure you do it right. I don't want to see anybody lose money, but I do want to see you have a great weekend. So I'll see you on the next weekly stock market update. Take care.